right, guys, we're here in Iowa for another Java with James, and rudely, the Indy Next series decided to have a practice session right where we decided to sit down and talk.
Yeah, very disrespectful.
It's a little disrespectful. I don't know if they know that they're interrupting an interview with an Indy 500 champion who deserves a little bit of quiet and peace when he's having his morning, afternoon coffee. Welcome, Marcus Ericsson, of course, is our guest today. Marcus, what are we drinking? Wait, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't tasted it. So
well, but you would have ordered it.
Have I ordered it?
You ordered it. Somebody ordered it on your behalf.
Someone ordered it. Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. I know what it is. In principle,
it's black coffee.
It's black coffee.
Yeah.
Is that what you normally drink?
So, basically, my order is. So this will mess this up a bit. In the morning, I drink straight black coffee.
Okay.
Like no fuss. Like just black coffee. Get you wake up, get you going, blah blah. After lunch, I like my oat milk latte iced with some sugar-free vanilla.
That's my wife's drink. I'm not kidding. Oat milk, a double tall oat milk latte with 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla.
Yeah. So me and Becky, we know what we're talking about, obviously.
I want to say Armstrong had the same order.
Yeah, I think that's true as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your like.
And my wife drinks that.
It's just same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a whole thing. So this is your like get up and go in the morning drink, and then the other one's your afternoon little pick me up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not bad. I mean, as you don't like coffee, this is gonna be a tough one.
I'm not looking forward to it. It also feels hot, and I'm a baby when it comes to the heat.
No, it's pretty good. Yeah. What do you reckon?
It tastes like a burnt pancake. Like it's. And when I say
if you
burnt,
watch
I mean
100
like,
Days to Indy, you will see that I do burn pancakes as like my breakfast.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. I remember that. It added a little different flavor and texture to the breakfast. Yeah, no, that's terrible. That's awful.
With that said though, like, so brew coffee in America is very like watery compared to a brew coffee in Sweden.
Okay.
In Sweden, when we brew coffee, it's a lot stronger.
So is it thicker?
It's thicker.
Or is it just
No, thicker, more coffee taste, more like.
So this is like a weak coffee for you.
It is very weak, yeah.
Do you miss the strong coffee in Sweden?
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you just drink espresso? Isn't that basically just espresso?
Yeah, but there's something about brew coffee. It's not the same thing.
Is it not? Do you not brew espresso the same way that you brew coffee?
I don't know the difference. It's just not the same thing.
Well, I don't know. I know nothing about this.
I'm not a barista, but I know the taste.
You're not like Rosie.
No.
He loves his coffee.
I know. I go to him sometimes to get my luxury coffee.
Okay.
With the art and everything. He's pretty good.
Well, yeah, he's getting good at that.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
What else do you miss from Sweden living in the States?
I mean, I have an IKEA 50 minutes from my house. Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of IKEA furniture in your house?
So when I first moved here, my apartment, it was 100% IKEA in it. Like 100%. Everything was from IKEA.
To be fair, I feel like every young driver when they move to Indy, their first place is 100% IKEA.
Fair,
so I don't think you like get to play the Swedish card on that one.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But now, since we bought a house last year, we are transforming from all the IKEA stuff to.
I feel like you're more like a restoration hardware vibe, or like
we have been a lot there.
Yeah.
My wife always said, "Let's go there for lunch," and always the lunch turns into.
Yeah. No, it's a couch and a side table and
very
it's a
clever system.
That is, she's a thinker. She's a thinker. That's funny. All right, so there's nothing that you miss then.
I mean,
you're settled. I mean, home and family.
To be fair,
creature comforts.
We love it in Indy. You know, now when we have the house, it's the social network, everything. We really enjoy it in Indy. But of course, you miss your family, right? You don't see your family so much. But the good thing with having the house now, like the month of May, I had my mom and dad, my brother and his family. They all came over and stayed at the house. So it was that was really cool.
You got some rowdy neighbors, though. That's the only downside of the house.
I love the neighborhood, but Rossi lives down the street, and very annoying. Yeah, very annoying.
Just terrible.
Yeah. Sometimes I drive past and throw like eggs at his house.
Oh, it's you? He's been complaining about that on the podcast. Now I know.
Don't tell it.
No. Keep doing it. It's funny. We like winding him up. So Marcus, big change for 2024 for you, switching teams. 4 years, right, with Ganassi, moving to over Andretti. Third team now that you've raced for in IndyCar. How's that transition been for you?
It's been good. I think, as you said, 4 years with a team. I worked with the same people more or less for 4 years. And then you change that, and in a competitive series like IndyCar, and the level it is now on the competitiveness, it does take some time. I think the first part of the year we were a bit unlucky with St. Pete. We were on for a strong top 6 result until we had a technical issue that took us out of that race. Obviously, month of May was really, really tough with my crash and going to the backup car, and then turn 1 get taken out. So, it was a rough start, but I think there was still, showings of good things, like Long Beach, top 5 there. But really what has been good for me to see is that turnaround after the month of May. Like, I went into the shop and I had a good chat with all my crew on the 28th saying, hey, let's restart our season, all right? Let's have a big reset button, let's hit that and get going again from Detroit onwards. And that's really happened. We've been in the top 10 every race since, had a podium in Detroit and another top 5 in Mid-Ohio. So it's been really good, and I feel like now I'm already at the level where I was last year with Ganassi, where we're always in the top 10 and sort of fighting in that area.
Yeah, it's been a really consistent stretch here. I saw something on Twitter where you scored like more than double the amount of points in the last 4 races that you did in the first 5.
Exactly, and I think that's the thing. Like, we've been consistently now in the top 10 every weekend, and that's what I said, going into the year as well when I talked to my group in the team. Like, we need to aim for, and that was my strength in Ganassi, always be in that top 10 group, right? Like, always be top 10 in every race, and then when you have your good days, you have everything work for you, you're up there on the podium or winning. But when you have your normal day, you need to be in that top 10 result. You can't have like a normal day and be like 18th or 19th, which is easy to be in IndyCar because it's so competitive. So I think that's been something that's been good lately, that we have we've been our consistency level a bit higher.
Has it been an easier transition or more difficult transition? Like, obviously when you went to Ganassi, you're coming off just 1 year in the series, so probably a bit of an easier, but after 4 years at a team, as you mentioned, that's a long time, and you've switched teams, so you know what that's like. But was it harder or a little more seamless than you thought it was going to be?
Both, to be honest. I think it's
like results aside.
Yeah. I think yes and no. Like, it's been easy to get into the Andretti team. It's very family feeling. I think that runs all the way from the top with Michael. He's a big family guy and he runs his team as a big family. So I think that part of things have really gelled well with the team and with the people I work with. So that's been super smooth. But I think the process of getting the car the way I want it, to get like the small details, that is taking a little bit more time that maybe you would have liked, but still it's part of the process. So it's part of the changing teams.
It's such a competitive series that you need to have everything perfect. So even small little things that you're still tuning to your likeness, I mean, that's going to equate to lap time, right?
For sure. And in a race weekend, especially these days, you have 2 practice sessions, but those go very quickly by. So if you start off a little bit wrong or you go a bit of a wrong direction, it's not much time to revert and sort of get on the right track. And I think that's been the thing, that a couple of weekends we sort of tried some things that hasn't really worked out, and then we sort of had to try and find our way back. And it's so competitive now that it's hard to do that. So it's part of the process, it's part of learning each other, and that's why it's been very encouraging to see the last few weekends where we've been like strong from the get-go and had really solid and good weekends.
You used to be teammates with, a guy by the name of Scott Dixon, right?
And you.
Not terrible. And me, that's true. So yeah, so old guys like me and Scott. And other champions like Pelot, and now you're in a team where you're kind of the elder statesman. Colton, I think we
same year.
You're same year.
Yeah.
So you guys have the same, same amount of experience. Obviously you're ahead of Kyle. You're kind of the de facto Indy 500 expert. What's it like working with those two guys coming off of, a situation in Ganassi where you had, multiple champions, you got a driver coach in Dario Franchitti who you can pull experience from, to now kind of being the older guy, the tied for most experienced guy, and working with these two younger guys?
Yeah, it's been interesting, and that was one of the things that I was really looking forward to, going to Andretti, to be more of the experienced guy. And try and be a bit more of a leader. I think in Ganassi, obviously Scott has been there since,
2002 or something.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
Which is great, That's
he was
one of
actually born in a Ganassi car.
Yeah,
that's what the saying is. Yeah.
Yeah, but which is obviously great for that team, and it was fantastic for me to be teammates with Scott and learn from him, and then with Alex as well. We worked really well together, all of us, and that was a really great situation. But it's been really fun to sort of come somewhere where I am more the experienced guy and have to step up a bit in some ways, and being more of a guy that maybe people listen to in a different way. So that's been really fun, and working with Colton and Kyle has been fantastic. Both of them, those two guys are super easygoing, super fast drivers, super talented, and we work well together. Like, we hang out as well, and it's been really, really smooth doing that. So I think that's over a couple of years here that we hopefully will be teammates together for the next few years. That's going to build such a strength within the team, I think.
Do you feel like you have more say in the direction of the car, the direction of the team than maybe you did at Ganassi?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I think naturally, Dixon is going to be that kind of guy in Ganassi, which he should be.
I mean, he's earned that, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. And I think in Andretti, coming in, like you say, as a 500 champion and multiple race winner, you definitely have more of a say there. But again, I think, my teammates are so good and so talented and still has experience, so we sort of do that together. But definitely I feel like I have a bit more responsibilities in Andretti than what I had over in Ganassi.
So we're heading into a phase of the season that's very oval heavy. We know that you excel at one oval in particular. We've already done that one.
Didn't go so well.
Didn't go as well as planned, but reasons for that. How do you feel on the short tracks, and are you looking forward to having 6 of the last 8 races be on ovals?
I'm super excited about it. I love oval racing, and that was one of the things, coming here to IndyCar, one of the things I was most excited about was to try ovals and learn ovals, race on ovals. So when I saw the calendar and saw this part of the season, it was something that really excited me. And when I came to Andretti in the off season, one of the big things I wanted to work on was the oval package. So we spent a lot of days in the simulator in the off season, working on tracks like Iowa, Gateway, Milwaukee, these short ovals. We've been really putting a lot of hours in to try and be on a good level. And we tested in Milwaukee, we tested in Iowa. We're very strong on both of those tracks. So I'm super excited about it. I think Iowa has been a track where I've been very strong at all my races here. I think out of my 7 starts, I've finished top 11 each one of them. So it's been a good track to me. I haven't had that sort of big result. I think P4 is my best result from last year. But it's a track I love racing at, and I just really enjoy oval racing. I just think it's really cool. It's really different to the road and street courses we go to, and yeah, I just enjoy it. I don't know. I just really enjoy it.
I love that though. I love, because you get so many guys, especially guys that come over from Europe, but even guys that are born and bred here and like race here growing up. They say they like it, and you can tell that they want to believe it when they say it, but like deep down, it's probably not their preferred style of racing. But you can see, like I just mentioned it. You're like, no, I love it, man. It's so much fun. And I actually remember here, the year we were teammates, you had an awesome race here.
I was gonna be
because like you didn't qualify great, but then like in the race you were just
flying,
like a rocket ship.
We were flying, both of us, and then I think in the end, the last pit stop, I went over that pit commitment line and got a drive-through. Otherwise, it would have been a top 5 or even a podium.
I was gonna say, I thought it was like top 5. Yeah.
So no, I really like this place from the get-go, and like you say, it's true because a lot of other drivers I speak to, especially drivers coming from Europe, they say that, they come here and they're like, I just wish there was no ovals. Like, they won't say it in public, and I'm not gonna name names, but like, a lot of them is like, oh, I wish there were no ovals. I love IndyCar, but I wish there was no ovals. And I'm the other way around. And I think it comes from growing up. I watched a lot of racing on TV. I remember watching late at night Kenny Bragg. Kenny racing on the ovals. And already back then, from when I was a kid, I was like watching that on TV with my dad and thinking like, oh, this is so cool. I want to do this one day. And that was the thing for me, even throughout my career in Europe, when I was on the ladder to Formula 1 and reaching Formula 1, always in the back of my head, I always had this sort of, at some point I want to go to America and try the oval racing, especially obviously the 500, but like it was always a dream of mine. So I think that's really helped me learn oval racing. having that mindset, because I've really been eager to learn it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
try and be a good oval driver, instead of having this sort of mentality that's like, oh,
This
I
reserved
just,
kind
yeah,
of
like
approach.
I just do it because I have to kind of
Right,
thing. Like
right.
I do it because I really enjoy it and I want to be the best I can be.
Yeah, it's like I said, you can see it in a driver's face when
No,
you
for
ask them
sure,
that question.
100%.
And some of them are pretty open about it. Like, I know
Yeah.
you don't want to name names, but there are ones over, a lot of the F1 guys will say, yeah, I love IndyCar racing, I love watching it, would love to try it, but I'm not going over there because I don't want to do ovals.
Exactly.
I think you have to have that mentality. And it's cool because obviously Kenny was a big, influence on you when you were young. And you probably watched him have like one of the worst accidents
Yeah.
in like IRL classic days on those
Sure.
old crazy mile and a halves, but it still didn't kind of phase you at all.
No, I mean, of course, all the accidents over the years has been terrible, each one of them. But I think that's what I've been impressed with, the safety improvements we've made in IndyCar over the years, and the constant push for improvements on the safety side. And as you know, always when you race on an oval, you know the risk you are, driving race cars or whatever at 200 plus miles an hour. There's always going to be risk, no matter how good the safety is. But it's just something that you have to take that into account and still go out and race. So I feel like it's part of the game, but it's nothing that sort of holds me back. I have the respect for it, but yeah, it's something that is just there.
So we're now into the hybrid era of IndyCar racing. You got a top 5 for the first hybrid race. Congratulations. But you were also a big part of the development of this system, right? Andretti, one of the teams for Honda that got to do a lot of the legwork for it. Coming from a background in F1 where there is a lot more sort of development on the car side of things, is that a part of it that you enjoy? And was it fun being part of that process, or is testing new technology kind of sometimes more frustrating than it is rewarding?
Yeah, both. To be honest, I think if I remember right, I think I was the first one that actually drove it on a track
Really?
in the GP a few years back now when I was with Ganassi. And I think the first, some parts of development testing is a bit tough when you
Bit
like
painful.
go out and do 20 laps and then pit and put on your tires and another 20 laps just doing mileage running. That's maybe not the most exciting, but a lot of it has been interesting, trying different system settings and different techniques and all that. It's been interesting to be part of that, and now seeing it implemented in the season and seeing everyone trying different things. I think it's been really cool to do that and being a part of that for sure.
You have raced IndyCar, you've raced Formula One. What have you not done that you'd like to do? You've raced Swedish Porsche Super Cup.
Yeah, exactly. That's been cool. No, but I feel very, very lucky to have had the chance to do Formula One and IndyCar. I think that's very few they can say they've done that, and I do really appreciate that, and I love both series. For sure, on the bucket list at some point is the Le Mans, Le Mans 24. It's definitely something I want to do before I end my career. But yeah, apart from that, I'm so happy racing IndyCar, and I want to race in IndyCar for as long as I can. It's my goal, and it's my home now. It's Indianapolis, and I really feel at home in the series, and feel like I've established myself in the series. So hopefully I can be here for many, many years to come, and at a Le Mans 24 at some point.
So you mentioned earlier, if there's one thing from back home that's maybe something you miss a little bit, it's obviously family. You've got some other drivers in the family. It kind of runs in the Ericsson blood. Tell me a little bit about your family members and their racing histories.
Yeah, so I have 2 younger brothers. I don't come from a racing family, so my parents have never been involved in any racing, but my youngest brother, so the middle brother, I'm the oldest, he's not doing any racing. He's, working with my dad back home as a house painter. But my youngest brother, Hampus, he's racing, going in sort of my footsteps, and he's been racing in Porsche in Sweden for a few years, and that's why I've been racing with him at the end of each season last 2 years. This year he's racing in Lamborghini Super Trofeo in Europe, so he's doing well there. So I'm, aside from my career, I'm trying to help him as much as I can, and we're on calls every week trying to look at different options and what's best for him, and that's been fun.
So do you kind of manage him a little bit?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I speak to teams and speak to sponsors and stuff like that, which is tough, as we all know.
Does he throw around his big brother's name when he's talking to sponsors? Like,
I'm sure that helps, but it's also been tough for him in his career. Like people saying that he's the younger brother of me or whatever. It's definitely some extra pressure for that, especially back home in Sweden. But he's very talented. He's super fast, and he kicked my ass on each time in Porsche when I came over there. So it's been that's not been fun. But he's a good driver. Let's see where I want to get him to IMSA at some point. Like I think he's really good with the Porsche and the Lamborghini, and I think he would be perfect for IMSA. So hopefully in the future at some point I'll get him over and come racing here in the US.
All right, IMSA team owners, Super Trofeo team owners.
Call me. I'll hook you up.
Slide into his DMs. He's got a great deal on a young driver out of Sweden. That's fire. Okay, so let's wrap this up with, given it is first season with Andretti and all the things that it takes to kind of get comfortable, make it your own car, your own environment, whatever, what do you end the season with and be happy?
I want to continue that trajectory we're on now with top 10 finishes, podiums. Of course, we want to win races. I think we're going to have some opportunities for that throughout the second part. So that's, the ultimate goal is to win races. When you're with a team like Andretti, that's our mindset, right? But for me, the big thing is the consistency. I want to run in that top 10 every weekend. Consistently in the top 10 every weekend, that's what I say. If we can do that every weekend, we're going to have a chance to win a race or two, at least throughout the second half of the year. So consistently there in the mix, that's the biggest goal for me.
Don't see why it can't happen, my friend.
No, we have all the tools for it, and the oval calendar is going to be awesome, so I'm looking forward to it.
The most enthusiastic oval driver, I think, in the IndyCar series. Marcus Ericsson, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Your taste in coffee is absolutely horrific.
Fantastic, yeah.
But thank God you're a better driver than you are drink selector.
And now they stopped driving. Perfect timing. I say yellow.